Last night, one of my best friends from high school arrived, and today I'm going to take him to discover what life is like in the most futuristic city on the planet. Throughout the day, we're going to visit the most impressive car expo in Shenzhen, and I'll tell you the story of the subway. We're going to order food with drones, meet police robots, and visit some amazing places that even I didn't know about until yesterday when I started researching. It's going to be a day full of excitement, and we're going to walk a lot, but I think it's going to be worth it. Let me introduce you to Gash. Greetings, Gash.
Hello, hello.
I'm really excited because you don't get to welcome a great friend like G has been for so many years every day, and that's because I created him. To start our tour, Gash, you need to know that this community is taken care of by a robot whose name is Juan and who has a very cute face. He gets sad, he gets angry depending on what you're doing. If you stand in front of him, he gets angry and sometimes he cries. But what he does is that he's constantly recording, and if he sees any suspicious activity, he triggers an alert on the guard's screen and they can call the police. So, don't be fooled by his beautiful face. Be careful with what you do when Gash is around. The second thing you need to see, Gash, as we're leaving, the thing is that we enter the place where we live with facial recognition. For example, here I can scan my face, the door opens and we're inside. Try scanning your face. Exactly. Rejected by Malachor. Now we're going to eat something very typical of the area. We're going to fill our stomachs and then we'll take the electric scooter to get to the exhibition center. Where are the flying cars that have become so famous in recent months? Welcome to my favorite breakfast restaurant. Here you can find everything, from classic dumplings to what we're going to try today. Not sure if you'll eat them or they'll eat you, Gash, but it'll be good. Good morning, ma'am. We're back! Today we want 2 orders of, what was the dish called? I already forgot.
Changfen?
Yes.
With egg?
Meat is better. Meat is better. It's my buddy's first time trying it.
Sit here.
Okay, thank you very much. Breakfast is here, Gash. Don't freak out when you eat it and feel it moving in your mouth. That's normal, just chew it quickly. This is called Changfen, and it's the typical breakfast in Guangdong province. How is it, G?
Good, it's like egg yolk. No, what's it called? Egg white.
This is what's going to give us the energy to explore the city of Shenzhen. And I loved Gash's description because he says they're like Chinese enchiladas, and it's true, they have a very similar taste. Do you agree?
They're missing some green sauce.
Which is right here. What the Chinese use as sauce are these pickles that have a tangy and spicy flavor. I love them, and the more the better, but if you can't handle spicy food or have acidity problems like I do, don't eat them. But inside they have pork and egg, and on the outside it's a very thin dough that holds everything together. Highly recommended. And if you come to Guangdong province, you can't miss it. Breakfast is ready. Let's go get the motorcycle. Here's the motorcycle parking lot where we live. It's amazing how there are so many motorcycles in such a small space, and sometimes we even have trouble finding parking. But anyway, it's pretty cheap to charge here. Gash, how much do you think it'll cost us to charge our motorcycles?
A full charge?
Yeah, a full charge.
50 yuan?
It costs us 1.5 yuan, which is 3 pesos. So for 3 pesos, you can get around for a whole week, depending on the kind of scooter you have. This is my electric scooter. It gives me about 120 kilometers of range, and it can be charged in 4 hours with the fast charging function. Greetings, Gash. Up top. Here, Gash. You'll be the official cameraman. Record us in an epic experience. Hello, how much is it?
45 yuan.
45 yuan for both tickets?
No, 2 for 90 yuan.
Oh, why is it so expensive? Well, okay.
2 tickets, I'm not scamming you.
I'll give you 88 yuan. It's a lucky number. We just use scalping, and in this case, it's not because we support scalping, but because Gash is coming from out of town. He's still not fully registered in the apps, and buying the ticket can take longer, but at the end of the day, it's simple. So we bought 2 tickets for the expo. They cost us 88 yuan, and now we're going in. Now welcome to one of the most impressive car expos in the world. Our goal today is to find the flying cars and show you all those models that haven't been released yet in Latin America or Europe. Look at how many people are here today, everyone excited to find their next vehicle, and me excited for the air conditioning. The exhibition center is so nice, it's exciting every time we come. We don't know what we're going to find. It's like a box of chocolates or a Kinder Egg. Good morning. Thank you very much. We're already in the first of the many pavilions in this huge exhibition center. And you find really curious things, from very modern cars to these kinds of eccentricities that are presented by hostesses. And look just at the number of people it attracts. Besides Gash, there are a lot of photographers, and I don't know if they're taking pictures of the car or the model. What a curious car.
He won't get cold.
Do you want me to tell you or not?
He'll get bitten by mosquitoes, that's inevitable.
It's amazing to come to the Expo every year because there are always new brands and impressive models like this brand. I didn't know it before, but it's called Ini Motors. It's a new Chinese brand that's becoming popular and has one of the most attractive booths with some pretty exotic cars, I'd say. One of them, for example, had the feature of displaying LED messages on the back. You can put Happy Birthday and Merry Christmas, things like that. Interestingly, one of the stars of the auto show is a phone manufacturer, or at least it started out as one. The company is called Xiaomi, and today it has become one of the most popular car sellers in China. And it's crazy. Every time they release a car, it sells out immediately, and many people wait from 6 months to a year to receive it. And that's the case with the new model YU7, which, even though it hasn't gone on sale yet, is already sold out. The line that formed just to get in and see the new Xiaomi car. People are willing to spend their vacation here in line just to be able to take a picture. Because many of these people aren't actually going to buy it, and you might be wondering why we brought you to a car exhibition. Well, it's pretty simple. Today, Shenzhen has become a very important part of the automotive industry revolution. In fact, this place is home to one of the most famous electric car brands whose name is Build Your Dreams, and there are also some others like Densa and Xpeng. But besides that, Shenzhen was the first city in the world to electrify its entire public transportation fleet. In fact, this is where electric buses started being tested, which are now also arriving in Mexico. But the most impressive thing of all is that this happened 5 years ago. Here, the infrastructure, charging zones, and everything else are everywhere, and people already see it as very normal. But anyway, we've talked about that in another video, so I'll leave the card here for you. Besides Chinese brands, there are also classic brands like Audi, a German brand with a lot of prestige. And these are models that haven't come out on the market yet. They're going to be released this summer. And these are Audi's fully electric cars, which are distinguished by the new logo. If you notice, instead of the circles here, they put the brand name, which I don't like. I feel like it looks a bit cheaper, a bit more fake. What do you think, Gash?
Yeah, they don't have the same feeling.
I do like these. This one looks impressive. The black rims make you feel like a mafia boss. Do I look attractive, Gash? Would you go out with me? The car is really nice, very spacious, and look at this camera it has here. We can see Gash. I hadn't noticed that this car doesn't have a rear view mirror anymore, but instead it has a wide-angle camera that looks much better than a regular mirror. Don't you think that's dangerous?
I feel like it could fail pretty easily. If a mirror gets cracked, it still kind of works, but here if you hit the camera, it's gone.
Here, it still uses the classic mirror, and the baby is having a great time because there's a 4K screen where he can watch his movie, the classic wireless charger, and the screen just keeps getting bigger, more and more distractions. This shows the importance of social media nowadays. Because even such important brands as Mercedes-Benz are doing live streams to promote their new cars, and there are several. Over there is another one doing a live stream. And a lot of people no longer have to come to the Expo, they can just watch it from the comfort of their homes. I think nothing illustrates the point of the most futuristic city on the planet better than this kind of car. This is a company called Ehang. And look, what a curious entrance, right? Because you have to walk right between the propellers. Imagine, if someone tries to rob you, you just turn it on. 2 people fit perfectly inside here. They have a screen through which you control the flying car and very large windows for a panoramic view. What do you think, Gash?
There's room for your backpack. I'm concerned about how you'll drive it. Does someone else drive, or is it automatic? If something goes wrong, I feel I'd be in danger.
This is a brand from Shenzhen called Xpeng. Have these cars already flown?
This is a demo, but yes, they've already been used.
When do you think it will be used on a daily basis?
We estimate that by 2035 it will already be allowed.
What is its range?
15 minutes of flight.
And is it electric?
Completely electric.
Completely?
Yes, it's lithium battery.
The manager just told me that these are actually automatic. They're basically for flying from point A to point B, and they don't need a pilot, they know where they're going, and it's impressive. Look, I'm going to show you inside. It's pretty simple, and it has to be because it needs to be lightweight. It's made of carbon fiber, it has a screen here, and all these switches that we shouldn't press. The door is very futuristic, in fact it closes like the DeLorean. Here are the seat belts. Although I have to say that I'd be scared to be in one of the tests. I'm even afraid of commercial flights. And we're ready to fly to our next stop to see how Gash's eye looks. To get to our next stop, we have to take the subway, but the subway itself is a very interesting attraction because there aren't just robots dedicated to cleaning the stations. But the history of this subway goes back only about 21 years because this city only started being built a little over 40 years ago. In such a short time, they've built around 570 kilometers of subway lines, and every year 40 new kilometers are built. This is where you would buy your tickets, but honestly nobody uses them because here you can use your phone to enter the station through Alipay or WeChat, and you can also scan your face to pay, which is even more interesting. This is how you enter the subway. You open Alipay, tap on transportation, and you're ready to go through. Gash, today I'm going to take you on the executive line. You'll have to get your QR code and scan it there. This will charge you 3 times the normal fare, but it's really worth it. Success! Welcome to the Shenzhen very important person train. The difference is that here you have a guaranteed seat, and the seats are like the ones you might have on a train. These are pretty new cars, and it's amazing to think about how much they invest in public transportation. But they see it as a right that we should all have and with which no one should profit. Because for your population to be productive, you have to give them a means of transportation. But having said that, let's go to Talent Park to get something to eat. Welcome to Talent Park, where the offices of some of the most important multinational companies on the planet are located, including Alibaba, Xiaomi, and many more. A stop you can't miss in the most technological city in China is drone deliveries, so we brought Gash here to order his subway. And all you have to do is scan the code, place your order, and in a matter of minutes your drone will arrive. Well, Gash's drone has already arrived, and all you have to do is enter your code. And it's really interesting because we got a little confused, and during the process about 3 drones showed up. So I thought, no, they've already stolen my order, but surprise, this one has storage capacity, and when you enter your phone number, it's like those old disk systems, right? They spin and deliver your package. Let's see what's inside. Okay, Gash, do the unboxing, please. And then, so you can see it's eco-friendly, this is recyclable. All you have to do is take it apart and put it inside. Many think you can't do it without speaking Chinese, but a kind lady here helps with everything, though I don't think she speaks English. Do you speak English? Oh, I thought you did. Do many people come here daily?
Yes, quite a lot.
Since when have the drones been here?
For 3 years now.
This thing has already been here for 3 years. Very soon we're going to see the skies full of drones, and they're going to have to establish air routes because otherwise control would be lost. I told you we'd spend the whole day in China's most technological city. It's clear in everything you see. Look, these are benches with solar panels where you can charge your phone. Here are the USB ports.
Is this also a charger?
Exactly, this is a wireless charger. What do you think, Gash? How do you like that, Gash?
Well, there's a constant fear of running out of battery in this city.
100%.
Now I know I can come to a bench and charge it.
Yesterday, Gash was asking me what's up with all the power banks available for rent. And yes, it's true what he says. There's a huge anxiety here in China about running out of battery. Because if you run out of battery, you're left without a phone, without a wallet, without credentials, without IDs. That's why there are charging stations everywhere, and it's also being implemented in the city's infrastructure, like these benches that charge your phone in a sustainable way. And in Shenzhen, you see it everywhere, but it's not just being applied here. For example, in Futian province, you'll find one of the most important manufacturers of batteries for electric cars in the world. And over there, they're designing a mobile solution for cars that run out of battery. It's like a small robot that comes to wherever you are and brings the charge to wherever you've gotten stranded. So yes, they're coming up with some really cool solutions.
Right now, as we're still walking around here, Gash was asking me, what the heck are high boxes? They're these little boxes that are around here.
It sounds like it's for packages, like from Amazon.
It's like, for example, if DHL had its own package lockers. From any online store you use, you can receive your packages here. This is the QR code you use to pick up your packages, so you can scan it. Or there's also an option where you can ask them to send a code to your phone. You enter it and then it opens the door for you.
These fridges, you scan it, it opens, and you can take whatever you want and it charges you automatically depending on what you take. See, it already opened it for me. You can take whatever you want. For example, I have a Coke there, a coconut water. I don't know how it registers it because I already moved everything around and it automatically calculates how much it is and charges me here.
We're now walking around the park and look, just check out the buildings around us. Don't underestimate them. In these buildings, rent costs between $20,000 and $30,000 a month. The stores on the facades of these buildings are, for example, this one here, Ferrari, you can see it right there. You can't just walk into this store to look around, you have to come with an appointment. It's almost like if you come in here, you have to buy one of these fancy cars. Lucky is the one who can afford it. But we've already made a video in this area right here. In fact, we went inside the apartments I'm telling you about. And you can click to watch this video in the description or on this little card.
Now we're at Gangsha North Station, which looks more like an airport or a modern train station than a subway station. And the most famous part of this station is the center. They say it's the eye of Shenzhen, the all-seeing eye. If that's the case, then Shenzhen has two eyes. Because one of them is a very famous Ferris wheel that's in the Bawang district. And the other is this one right here in the middle, which is a skylight and makes the station look like a work of art. In this subway station, 4 different lines come together and it's just one stop away from the Futian district, which is one of the most modern and luxurious in the city. Today we're also going to visit because there are some very interesting things over there. The most impressive thing is that this station only opened in 2002 and it has the capacity to move 600,000 people in a single day. Many tourists come to take pictures with the Shenzhen Eye. What do you think of it? We're now in the heart. Now we are in the heart of Futian, and you could say that in a way this is where modern China was born. Because this was designated as the first special economic zone in the entire country, which means that foreign investments started coming in. And this city went from being a fishing village with very few inhabitants to becoming a city with more than 15 million people. Also one of the richest and most advanced technologically in the world. And if you could say there's a center of this city, it would be precisely this place in the Futian district. The name is very interesting because if we translate it literally, it means fields of happiness or fields of abundance. And that's because until the 1980s, there was nothing here but rice fields. And it wasn't until it was designated as a special economic zone that construction began, which was when they ordered the construction. This, which is the civic center of the city, is basically a place where there are government offices and many services for the citizens. Which is very representative of what has happened here, because if you notice, it has the shape of wings that represent the rise of the city of Shenzhen, which began back then. And on this side, we have some of the most impressive skyscrapers in the world. For example, the Pinggan Center, which is the tallest skyscraper in the city, which is also the first private insurance company that emerged in this country. I think it's pretty clear that insurance does make money. In addition to being the central government building, this is also a plaza where a lot of people gather at night and it's very lively. But there's also a reason, and that's because at night, especially on weekends, more than 40 buildings light up to create a light show that not even Trump has. And later we're going to come back so you can enjoy it together with Gash. Look, the hobby of the young people here is that they bring their electric cars and they're racing them here. What speed does it reach?
80 kilometers per hour.
80 kilometers?
That's a bullet. Some can go 300 kilometers.
I thought the gasoline ones could go that fast.
The electric ones are faster. There are even competitions.
It's awesome. I love the little cars. Is this one electric too?
Yes, they're all electric.
Supposedly, a lot of young people come here to dance. Right now it's vacation, so many of them aren't here. But every day you can find groups of people who dance, do yoga, and practice different activities. And especially in the park that's back there, which we're going to visit now, known as the Park of the Kites. Right in front of the Civic Park is the Lotus Flower Park, or that's what we could call it. And as you can see, there are many people selling kites, drinks, and other things because this place is also known as the Kite Park. Now we're going to see a lot of people flying kites, especially today since it's vacation time and people come here to do everything, to live life to the fullest. Like these people who come to dance wearing Xinjiang clothing. And there's Gash. If you are wondering why it's called the Kite Park, here's the answer. For those who don't know, the kite was invented in China. It's something you can find in many cities, in many parks, and it's a national pastime. Hi, do they also put blades on them here?
What?
Blades. That's how we play in our country. We put little blades on them like knives.
Knives?
Yes, and then we cut other people's kites. If you cut someone's string, you keep their kite. Are you a professional? I wanted to ask you, do people here also play at cutting other people's kites?
No, not at all.
Oh, I see. I asked if they cut other people's kites here, but he gave me a look that clearly meant no. I also asked him about doing it without a blade and with a blade, and he looked at me like, what country are you from? Look, these are all the kites they have. How interesting. He told me they have special WeChat groups to buy their kites because here there are artists who dedicate themselves to making kites. They make the good ones, the ones that can fly over 1,000 meters, and he told me it's a weekend hobby for everyone. And sometimes there are competitions and people come from all over the country to see who has the best kite, which one flies the highest. In this city, everything has to do with technology. Even the trash cans, for example, these here that you open with, they open automatically. And well, there's the container, but this way you don't have to touch it. It's a more hygienic way to get rid of trash and everything is separated. This is the recyclable stuff and here's everything else. Look, there's the sensor and it opens automatically. It's a small thing, but I think it's pretty cool. But besides the trash, there's something else that really impressed me, and that's the public restrooms. Let me show you why. This is the breastfeeding room and you press this button here to open it, and inside there's a little lounge. It's very clean, there's air conditioning because it's about 40 degrees outside. It's amazing. What else could a mom need in this place? And on the other hand, there are the family bathrooms, which I don't even know what that means. Oh, okay, literally it's a family bathroom. Look, here the dad, the child, and the mom can all be together, and if you need to change diapers, you have everything you need right here. How about the public bathrooms in Shenzhen? We're already at the top of Lotus Mountain, and as you can see, it cost us a lung and half of the other one. But it's absolutely worth it because this is where the statue of Deng Xiaoping is located. This is the statue of Deng Xiaoping, one of the most important presidents of China. He was the one responsible for opening up this country, which allowed China to become everything you see behind me. And it was him who implemented the first opening up reform, which allowed for the creation of special economic zones. And the city of Shenzhen was the first. But it was specifically at this point where the construction of what is now known as modern China began, and one of its first buildings was precisely the Civic Center that's right behind me. Which, as I mentioned before, are the halls of Shenzhen that represent the extraordinary rise this city has experienced. And standing here, it's incredible to think that everything behind me used to be rice terraces. But today, I believe they have become fields of hope for all the good things that are coming to this country. Being here is very interesting because I just saw how all these students were bowing to Deng Xiaoping. For the Chinese people who come here, this is a very symbolic place that represents the extraordinary transformation of the country in which many of them still grew up. Many people over 60 years old still lived in that China where there were not only no skyscrapers, but there was also no food. Many of them had to live through the famine, had to eat dirt, tree bark, and find any way to survive. But today they can enjoy these kinds of views and have become one of the most technologically advanced countries on the entire planet. What we see here truly fills us with hope for what we can achieve in other parts of the world as well. And this is where it all begins, with young people, with people full of dreams and projects. Today, any one of them could become the next president. In this video, we are also joined by Christopher Araya from Araya Vlogs. Brother, welcome to China. It's a pleasure to have you here. How have you been enjoying your time?
Spectacular. Honestly, my expectations, my ideas, everything has been surpassed, and it's very different from what I really thought. And there's very little information on the internet. Luckily, I found you guys.
And that's why we're going to try to guide you in the best way possible. Because it's such a complex country that we also get lost.
Yes.
So if we get lost, at least we'll get lost together. But we're going to have a good time.
That's it.
Right? Come on.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Look at Christian here. He's really surprised by the robot dog we have here. Look at the kid. I can't imagine he's the one controlling that thing. What do you think?
I'm shocked. Honestly, just thinking that someone could have a robot dog as a pet, it's really strange. But at the same time, it's like a solution for giving a kid a pet so it doesn't die on them.
And it's not just for kids, they're also using it for older people, like an assistance animal. It knows where your house is. So, if the elderly person has some kind of health problem and forgets how to get back home, this person can turn to the robot and the robot will take her back home.
I imagine it can carry loads, for example, to high-risk areas like supplies. For example, imagine a blind person. From that view, the robot will never fail. It has the coordinates for the store, the supermarket, the house, and it could probably even call if there's an emergency.
And now we're at a 7-Eleven to experience something that, if you can't call it futuristic, I don't know what is. And as you know, in China you need your phone for absolutely everything, but here they're already taking it to another level. And now there are alternatives coming out that aren't just the phone. We're going to try paying with the palm of your hand. This is the first time I've seen it, but what do I have to do? First, I scan my palm, right? Okay. I already scanned it. I'm going to enter my payment password and that's it. Oh, it didn't. How easy. Success. No way. What kind of sorcery is this? It left me stunned, huh?
You don't even have to show it to the lady.
No. In China, there are already a lot of supermarkets where you don't need anyone to help you, but I've never seen this. It's the first time I've used it. Look at this little bus. It's part of the electric bus fleet that started running a few years ago in the city of Shenzhen. As you can see here, the license plate is green, which means it's electric, and this very nice gentleman is showing us what it's like inside. He's been driving for a few months now. What year is this bus from?
It's already more than 3 years old.
More than 3 years. You can't really tell, huh? It's pretty well taken care of. It has screens here with the route name, the price, this is the direction it's heading, and it's pretty modern inside. Oh look, a foreigner, that's included.
Yeah, he's on the bus too.
Yes.
It's part of the attractions.
The tourist attraction of the Shenzhen bus, and it was showing how to charge your phone, whatever you need, some USB ports. This little vending machine sells you water for 1.5 yuan less than at the store. It works just by scanning this QR code, so you don't have to feel thirsty on public transportation. The number of screens on this bus is crazy. Here come some announcements. For example, it says, be civilized, don't push, be careful inside the vehicle, and it even says, please don't smoke inside the bus. It shows the temperature as well as the route information. This is the little machine where you insert coins, which isn't very common to see here in China anymore. You can also use one of these transportation cards, or you can pay using a QR code. And what we use to get on public transportation is the Alipay app, and it has a section called Transportation. And you scan it in the subway or here on the bus on this little machine. And of course, there's always security on public transportation, just like on the streets of China. It has 1 or 2 cameras that the driver can use to monitor what's happening inside the vehicle. And how crazy, I haven't seen this in any public transportation anywhere else in the world. And this bus has cameras to help you park so you can see what's happening around you. And the brand is Yitong. I thought they were going to be Build Your Dreams because I understand that the first fleet of electric transportation in the city of Shenzhen was Build Your Dreams. But anyway, it's super advanced. Thank you for letting me see your transportation. See you later. The gentleman was so nice.
The next stop is one of the most impressive shopping malls in Shenzhen, known as Coco Park, and it's where a lot of foreigners come to eat, stroll and shop. And there are some very expensive and important brands here. This is one of the nicest shopping malls in Shenzhen, but it's not the only one. There are a lot here. And actually, a few weeks ago, they opened a new one called K1, which has become a sensation because of its architecture and the variety of businesses inside. But even so, I think nothing compares to Coco Park because it's right at the base of the Ping An Insurance building. No matter where you are, you can always see this building in Shenzhen, and soon we'll see it in the light show. It's definitely going to stand out. What is this, Gash?
They're gotchas. Everyone collects figures, and it's a gamble if you'll get the one you want.
And what for, or why?
Just to spend your money.
But anyway, it's impressive that you can buy them with QR codes.
Yeah, now it's with a QR code.
The faster you choose, the better the prize, it says. This is where people of all ages come to shop and do all kinds of activities. In this case, there's a dog exhibition. And here people can come with their little dogs to walk around, to hang out, and in this case, to compete as well. And look, there are a lot of cute little ones here, like this one over here. The pet industry has grown a lot in recent years. Because you see, people are starting to reach a certain standard of living, and when they reach that level, they start thinking about other things. And pets are always a priority, at least in my life.
Does it have to do with the fact that nobody wants to have children?
Uh-huh.
They'd rather have dogs.
Also, for example, I don't want to have kids and I have 2 cats and I want a dog. Here they sell ice cream for dogs, snacks for dogs, fancy food for dogs, and as promised, we're back downtown to see the light show. They say it's really beautiful. And it's incredible to think that after living here for a year, we've never come. Noelia has never seen it, and unfortunately she's not here, but we have good old Gash in her place, and we'll have Noelia here in our hearts. And look at the number of people who come here to see the show. I mean, this isn't normal. Right now it's a national holiday because of the Dragon Boat Festival, but still there's quite a lot of people. And they say it's really beautiful because there are 40 synchronized buildings that put on a show. I was really curious to see that it's divided here. If you notice, there are some fences that separate people like they're in stadium stands. And everything is free, but you have to make a reservation to be able to sit here or in the next one. There are days when there are actually a lot of people. In fact, not everyone would fit, and since today there aren't that many, you don't need a reservation to be here on the ground floor. But unfortunately, we won't have the best view, but even so, it's still going to be very much worth it. I can't believe I'd never been here before, huh? Really, it's just...
Literally, it's top 2, top 3.
I had never followed a guide on what to do in Shenzhen or places to visit in Shenzhen. Just to record 2 or 3 videos I wanted to make, but honestly, we hadn't really done any sightseeing. And what happens is that when we travel, we go to record. Maybe we're away for 15 or 20 days, and when we come back, we're already totally worn out. So all we want to do is lie down and watch shows, and we were missing out on all these wonders. As my mom would say, the shoemaker's son always goes barefoot. But it's a good thing that Gash came because he gave us the excuse to go out and see these wonders, and it's been a really nice day. And this is the perfect ending for it.